All right, I think we're live. Let's see if we can get this higher quality. All right, perfect. Hold on, guys. Sorry, let me just make sure this camera looks right. Here we go. Perfect. What's up, guys? Nice to have you in here. Woo, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, of course, as you guys probably saw. I announced this on my Instagram, and all of you guys basically are coming from Instagram, most likely. Maybe not, obviously, because I do have a decent sized audience on YouTube, but really excited to be here. I haven't done a live stream on YouTube in a long time, so this is going to be awesome, and I'm really excited for it. For those of you watching this later on, because obviously I'm going to leave this up on my channel, make sure you stay tuned, take notes, whatever you need to do, but I'll be answering a lot of questions. And yeah, how's the sound, you guys? Let me know. Is everything good? Yeah, I can see the chat. And yeah, let me see if this is just better to have right here. Hold on. Yeah. Let's see. Is that better? I don't know if I like that. Let me see. Sorry, guys, just making sure everything is good. Boom. All right. Well, how are you guys doing? Where are you guys tuning in from real quick before I answer some questions? I'm curious to see, just because this is a weird time to do a live stream. There's not a lot of times where I do live streams at this time. So, wow, Toronto, Trinidad. Oh my God, this is so cool. Every time I ask that question, it's crazy because we get people from all over the world, and it's just amazing, man. Like e-commerce and just everything. It's crazy to think about. People tuning in from literally all over the world. It's just insane. Tuning in from India, namaste for sure. UK, Finland, Hong Kong, Houston, Belgium. Oh my God. We got people literally from all over the globe. That is insane, guys. Greece, Romania, Albania, Copenhagen. Nice. Denmark. All right, guys. Well, we got a lot of people from all over the world. That's amazing. That's super cool to see. But yeah, so basically, as you saw in the title, today I kind of wanted to talk about dropshipping in 2019, just give you an overview of how I feel about dropshipping in 2019, what I'm doing in 2019, and of course, just tips in general, because 2019 is going to be a crazy year. It's been a crazy year so far, but it's only going to get crazier, especially in the second half because of the CBO update, right? If you guys don't know, in September, Facebook will change the way that we run ads to only campaign budget optimization. So that means that we will only be able to put allocate our ad spend at the campaign level rather than at the ad set level, which is just weird. But it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm excited for it just because it's a change, and CBO has been performing really well for a lot of people, a lot of my students, and we've been coming up with a lot of solid strategies. In fact, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably know that I have a CBO video coming soon. It will be up probably next week. And yes, it is a different strategy than Chris's strategy and Gabriel's strategy. I just wanted to mention that because, of course, those guys are my friends, and I don't want you guys to think that, I'm copying them or something, just to make things clear. And at the end of the day, CBO is kind of it's new territory for a lot of people, including myself. So, there's a lot of things that we're testing out and a lot of things that I'm excited to share with you guys. But let's start with some questions here, and then we'll just get into, just whatever this leads to, of course. But let's see, what shipping time is ideal? Should I only select ship from US? So honestly, of course, the faster the shipping, the better. That's kind of like a no-brainer because, and that's one of the reasons why right now, for example, we're trying to get all of our stock in the US, and we do have a lot of stock in the US, but not all of it. And the reason why is obviously because of shipping times. I just really want to start getting a lot more returning customers. That's something that I've never really done much in the past, right? Like really focused on my return customer rate. And the reason why I started to really look into that is because I had some sort of epiphany, honestly. I had a realization, an enlightening moment. I was listening to Ezra Firestone. I was watching one of his webinars, and he showed his numbers for his big brand, which is Boom by Cindy Joseph. That's what his brand is. It's cosmetics for older women. And the crazy thing was that he showed his revenue numbers, and it was like 60 million. But the crazy thing was that like half of that revenue was from returning customers. And that, I was just like, what? Like, that blew my mind, because I was just thinking to myself, like, man, imagine if 50% of your revenue came from returning customers. Like, that would be so profitable, right? Because retargeting, of course, are always the highest yielding like ROAS campaigns. And that's when I realized, okay, this guy's onto something. We need to start focusing on returning customers if we really want a profitable business. And that's one thing that I really want you. I mean, if you've been watching my videos lately, I've been really stressing the being profitable, because as funny as it sounds, I know a lot of people that are doing big numbers, a lot of people that flash huge revenue numbers that don't take any money home. And it's I don't want to say it's sad to see, because of course it still teaches you a lot of valuable skills to scale a business to really big levels. But if you're not making any money, then it's a little bit counterintuitive. So that's one of the things that I really want you guys to understand, is that in order to really quit your job and like really live the laptop lifestyle, you need to make profit. You can't just make revenue and flash the revenue. That's not going to pay your bills. So just make sure you keep that in mind, guys. Profit over everything. Okay, usually how many products does it take to test before finding a winner? That's a good question, and honestly, it's kind of subjective. It really varies for everybody. For example, for me, it took me a long time to find a true winner, and it wasn't even me that found the true winner. It was my partner, Tyler, and the way that he found it, it took us basically 5 products in total, but it took that was across a span of a year. We didn't test that many products because at the time, when we first found success, we were doing a lot of ManyChat bots. We were doing giveaways through ManyChat. We had a really cool strategy. I've made videos about that strategy before on my YouTube channel, but I've also covered that in the course if you guys are in the course. But it's really cool. You basically just run PPE ads to a post and collect a lot of comments. And then through that, you collect a lot of ManyChat subscribers, Messenger subscribers. And then you can just send a mass broadcast once a month, telling them that they won something for free, and just charge them $6 shipping, and you can make a lot of money through that. And that's how we made our first $30,000, was through literally just collecting Messenger subscribers and sending them broadcasts, sending them promotions. It was really cool. But of course, we don't do that as much anymore, just because by now we've found different strategies that work better and that are more sustainable, because you can't really have a business that only does that. And at the time, that was the only thing that we found worked. So that's why we stuck to it. But to be completely transparent and realistic, it'll probably take you at least 5 products to find a winner. If you're a complete beginner, you could get lucky and just find one right away. But for the most part, that doesn't happen often, because as a beginner, you don't really know exactly what a winner looks like. You don't know the metrics to look for. You don't know if your website looks, decent enough to get a winner, because of course the product is the key, but I don't care what anybody says. I will always believe that your website has a big impact on, the profitability of your product and just the virality of your product. And, that's just my opinion. A lot of people will say differently, but I think it does have a big impact on it. So if you're a complete beginner and you don't even really know how to make a good looking website, a clean site, then it might be more difficult to find winners. So that's why I think a realistic number to aim for is 5 products. But of course, you have to always keep improving. And, when something doesn't work, don't get down on yourself. It's really easy to get down on yourself. And I mean, that's totally normal, guys. That happens to me on a daily basis. But I always pick myself back up right away and just get back to work, because that's what's going to make it change. It's, dwelling on your failures, it's not going to do anything. Analyze why you failed and, take action to fix it, right? But man, we got so many people in here. This is awesome. And yes, guys, I will be announcing the giveaway a little bit later. We're not doing the giveaway today. I just want to let you guys know what it is. But yeah. Okay, let's see. Let me just go back over here. One product test or multiple. I think you should definitely test one product at a time. That's actually a big thing for me. I don't think you should aim to test as many products as fast as possible, unless you already have something that is working, right? If you already have a cash flow system, then sure, you could test, many products as fast as you can and try to just find as many winners as possible. But to begin with, to be really cost efficient and, really develop worthwhile skills, you really should take your time and test one product at a time. And like I said, this is going to be the most cost-effective way to test and probably just the most effective overall, because you'll be able to really put all of your focus into one product. I'm not saying like a one-product store, but I'm saying focus on just one product at a time. And once you find that product works and once you scale it out, then you can start testing other products to add, to your arsenal. I remember the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of one-product stores, even though they are really cool, is because I love the idea of having product lines and like product launches. I really like that. I really want to build brands that have multiple products, so that not only am I not relying just on one, but so that, I don't know, you can keep things interesting, keep it more fun, and test different products. I just think it's a cool thing to do. And that's why I like it. And of course, the more products you have that are working, the less risk, right? Because if you're only relying on one product, then you really have to make that product work. And if it doesn't, let's just say something happens to that product, then you're screwed. And that's why I'm not the biggest fan of that. Because in the past, I've had that experience where, I have two products that are winners, and for some reason, one of them starts dying, or, my supplier stopped producing that product. There's something, right? There's always the risk of something happening. So that's why I like to have multiple products at a time. But only test one product at a time. That's very important. Okay. Have I advertised on Twitter before? No, I've never advertised on Twitter, but that's definitely something that you could test out. I mean, I know that it's basically like uncharted territory. A lot of people don't advertise on Twitter. What's up? Should we only test products that ship from the US? That's a really good question, man. And honestly, no, you shouldn't only test products that ship from the US, because if you do that, that's really narrowing down the products that you can pick. But I will say, of course, that having a product that ships from the US will definitely give you an upper advantage, on other people. But for the most part, I don't think you should, just because, like I said, you're not going to find as many products that ship from the US. I think a smarter move is to just test whatever product, of course, that has e-package shipping. And once you find something that works and is working significantly well, let's just say you get to 30K a month or 20K a month, then work your hardest to get that product stocked in the US. That's really important this year, guys. And I'm going to be working on finding the best suppliers in the US in terms of fulfillment centers, so that you can get a good idea, so I provide that as a resource for you guys. But right now I'm using ShipBob. I actually haven't told you guys yet because I have a video coming out on this, but we actually bought a house and here in the local area, and we're going to use it as it is an investment property. So we're going to be renting it out in the future. But for now, we're going to use it as an office and also our own little fulfillment center. So I do want to ship out our own orders. I think that would be really cool. And that's something that we're working towards right now. It should be all ready to go within a month. And I'll be making a video about that because, it's really exciting for me. This is basically my Lambo, a house. That's what I've always wanted. And yeah, I'm just really excited about it. The value. So the value of the house is $340,000. It's 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. It's fully done, and it's in a prime location here in the Minneapolis area. So it'll be extremely easy to rent out once we do decide to rent it out. But for now, we don't need to rent it out. The mortgage is actually pretty cheap because we're putting a good amount down. But yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I really appreciate the support. This has been something I've wanted for a long time, and it's the start of a bigger thing, right? I want to have a lot of properties by the time I'm 30 or something. I think that would be really cool. And this is the start of that. Way to reduce checkout abandonment. Oh, that's a good question. So one thing about checkout abandonment is that it's hard to do nowadays because of the Shopify checkout script. That used to convert a lot of customers when you gave them a discount, but now you can't really use that. But honestly, I haven't been using it for the past 5 months, and it hasn't affected my conversion rate. And I've found honestly that it looks a lot cleaner, and sometimes it's smoother when you don't have any scripts. So if you're getting a lot of people abandoning their checkout, there's got to be something wrong. And I know that this sounds kind of dumb, but sometimes it really can come down to just like the color of your buttons or the how your logo looks on the checkout. A big thing that a lot of people don't take the time to do is check out take a look at how their checkout looks on mobile view. That's one thing, honestly, I only really edit my store nowadays in mobile view because about 90% of my traffic is mobile. So it only makes sense really to focus on how your store looks on mobile devices. So make sure that you keep that in mind, guys. It's a big tip that honestly, I didn't learn that for like years. And I used to always edit my store, and I would barely ever look at it in mobile view because, we work on our stores on our laptops. So it's only natural for us to look at our stores and how it looks on desktop. But in reality, most of the traffic nowadays comes from mobile. So it's really important to make your site mobile optimized. What's a good conversion rate? So a good conversion rate, like the average conversion rate for Shopify stores nowadays is about 1.6%. So anything above that is considered good. But one thing that I will say about conversion rate is that, it's not an extremely good metric to look at to judge, a good business or not, because, there's a thing called quality of traffic, right? So let's just say you have organic traffic, like you're getting all your traffic organically, then you're most likely going to get a lot of non-converting traffic. But if you're not spending anything on ads and you have a 1% conversion rate, but you're still making a lot of profit, like that's a good thing. And I've had many instances where I've had a 2% conversion rate, but I've had like 40% profits on the store. And I've also had a store that was, I had a 10% conversion rate, but it was because my product was so cheap. My product was like $12. So I had a 10% conversion rate, but that didn't mean that I was like, making a shit ton of money. That was actually less profitable than my 2% conversion rate, because the 2% conversion rate store had a higher average order value. So that means a higher margin per customer. Whereas the other one, like I needed 10 customers to make the same amount of margin. So it evened out. So that's one thing about conversion rate is, of course, always try to, increase your conversion rate. But, just the most important metric to judge really is like your return on ad spend and just your profitability overall. Yeah, guys, I really appreciate it. We got 225 people on this live stream. That's just insane. Really, really appreciate you guys. Let's see. Okay, sorry, I'm just looking for questions here. We got a lot of questions. What's a good profit margin? Okay, so a good profit margin, of course, anything above 20% is great, but you have to also keep in consideration your volume, because, if you're doing $100,000 a day, but you're only doing 10% profit, I mean, that's still $10,000, so you have to consider volume. But I will say that I like having a store with a little bit lower volume, but higher profit percentage, just because it's more manageable. When it comes to being like a one-man team or a two-person team, sometimes if you're scaling your store too big and your profit percentage is really slim, it can be really tough to manage, first of all, and that in itself will reduce your margin even more. And you can fall in the trap of really like not even making a profit just because you're not taking care of each customer and everything. You'll get a lot of returns, maybe some chargebacks. And the thing about chargebacks is that they're really expensive. So that's one thing that you have to keep in mind. So I really like to have a higher profit percentage in a slightly lower volume, just so that it's more manageable. And that's why I also like higher margin products nowadays, even though, low margin products do work. And like I said, we've had everything. I've had winning products that are $12, and now I've had winning products that are $80. So and I definitely choose the $80 one every time. That's one thing that like I've learned this year that I'm really happy about. But yeah. Damn, my cat's playing with her ball over here. Hopefully it's not too loud. What if I started testing a product, 10 ad sets, and once it's active and I get 20 to 50 CPMs, do I kill it? That's pretty high. Judge based on your CPC though, because I mean, sometimes you'll get a really high CPM, but your CPC will still be reasonable. So keep that in mind. But yeah, that's pretty high, man. I definitely think there's something wrong there. $50 CPMs, that's insane. Let's see. how to start Facebook advertising with only $500. That's a good question. And I honestly get that question a lot because a lot of you guys don't really have the budgets to really dive into Facebook ads. But I will say that if you only have $500 and you don't have a job or something like that, it's probably smarter for you to just save your money, start your store for sure, but build a foundation for it without Facebook ads. And what I mean by that is, I'll link a video to it later, but what I mean by that is basically, developing your social media pages. That means Facebook and Instagram mainly. Of course, you can try other social media pages too, but those are my primary ones that I focus on. And just, get good content for those pages. Start, following people so that they follow you back. Start DMing people, send them discounts, ask them for feedback on your store, and things like that. Those are all things you can do basically for free. So it's really important that you take the time to do that, because trust me, once you build a solid foundation and you get all this feedback and you maybe even get some sales organically, it'll be so much easier to start your Facebook ads later down the road, because you can retarget all the people that visited your site, right? Maybe you collected some emails as well in the process, and you can start blasting them with emails. So I think if you have a low budget, you should still start your store. You just have to be more strategic. You shouldn't jump directly into Facebook ads, because that will really, it'll really deplete your budget overall. Because Facebook ads, it's kind of, you can spend money really quick. I mean, $500 a day. If you spend $50 a day, that'll be gone in 10 days, and chances are you'll probably end up spending more than $50 a day if you really want results. That's one thing, guys. If you are an advanced person in this group, in this live stream right now, I strongly encourage you to test products with more ad sets. I don't, like, in my course and in my channel, I always tell people to test 10 ad sets at $5 a day. And the reason why is because I think that's like the perfect, like, happy medium between, not too little ad sets and not too many ad sets where it's going to be really expensive. So that's perfect for a beginner. But if you're not a beginner, then, go crazy. Do as many ad sets as you can. Like, honestly, the way that we test products nowadays is we do like 20 to 30 ad sets. We do low budgets, like $5 to $10, but we do a lot of ad sets. And the reason why is because then you don't have to wait to see, to test so many different audiences. You can find your winning audiences right away and start scaling very quickly, which, scale smart, but it is better to do that, to find all your winning interests right away, or at least most of them. And if you're an advanced person, you have a decent budget to test with, then that's probably the way to go. What's my favorite product research method? So I have two favorite product research methods. I really obviously love just browsing Facebook and Instagram and finding the best videos that I can, or products that really interest me. But honestly, I really also just love browsing on AliExpress and looking for high perceived value products, as well as products with really good reviews. I do look for products that have a decent amount of orders, like 500 plus, and mainly because they have good reviews. Like products with lower order amounts, they tend to not have as many reviews, or at least no high quality reviews. And reviews are huge, guys. Like, you want to find a product that has good reviews so that you can import them to your store. And the way that you're going to do that is through the app Loox, Loox. I actually have a link for an extended free trial in the description. They hooked me up with that link. It's a 30-day free trial, which is, longer than the regular 14-day free trial. So it is an affiliate link, but if you want an extra free trial, then why not? But yeah, that's the app I've been using for years, and I still use it till this day. And yeah, just look for, I like to browse AliExpress, use the dropshipping center, see how many orders a product is getting a day. And of course, if it's getting a lot of orders a day, that's a good sign, and you should definitely aim to test that. Of course, make sure that it has high perceived value pictures, and make sure that the product is a good product, right? Make sure that people actually like it. And of course, make sure that it potentially solves a problem or has a unique factor, a wow factor. Those are all things that you should look for in a product. But AliExpress is honestly the plug for finding products. I've found a lot of products just browsing AliExpress. So, it will take some time to find products, guys. It's not something you should rush, especially at the beginning. The best tip I can give you really is to just get a list of like 5 to 10 products that you see a lot of potential in, do a lot of research on them, and, pick the best one out of the bunch. Maybe even ask people around you, ask your family or your friends, like, hey, out of these 10 products, like, which one do you think looks the highest quality or something like that, right? Like, just do a little more research than most people, and that usually will go a long way. My cat's being like so rambunctious right now. What would you do if Facebook penalized you for low page score? That's a really good question, guys. Especially nowadays that customer feedback ratings are, more important than ever. So if you do get penalized for a low page score, the only thing you can do really is try to improve that page score by, improving your customer service. So maybe scale down and just really work on your customer service, or you could just start a new page, maybe get a new domain or something like that. These are things that we've done in the past. So, one store that we had that scaled extremely quickly and kind of blew up in itself because of that. That store we were getting so many negative reviews just because of order delays. And, we had good customer service at the time, but we just had so many orders because the product was like $12. So like to do let's say a $5,000 day, we needed like 500 orders almost, which is 500 customers a day. Like that's insane, right? So at the time, it kind of just blew up in itself, and we got a really low page score because we had so many customer complaints. So what we had to do is just basically start a new page, change the domain name, and basically just kind of start a whole new store. Honestly, that's the only solution, or the quickest solution. But otherwise, like if it wasn't too bad and you didn't have like 500 customers a day, then just try to improve it. Try to improve your page score by interacting with your customers more, engaging them in your ads, like answering their comments and everything, answering all their questions, having available tracking for them, all these things, and of course communicating with them like regularly. That's gonna all improve your page score. High ticket or low ticket products. So I kind of answered that in a different question, but I prefer higher ticket products, like not high ticket, like anywhere from, $40 to $100. I think those are the best products, but I think the sweet spot, to be honest with you, is like $29.95 to like $49.95. I feel like most of the best winning products are within that range. Anywhere below that, it works well, but it's a little more difficult if you don't have upsells, especially nowadays. And it's less manageable. So like I said, one of the biggest reasons why I don't like low ticket products like $10 to $20 is because in order to do a big day, you need a lot of orders, and a lot of orders means a lot of customers, which makes it that much harder to please each customer, right? Because chances are you don't have customer service outsourced yet. And even once you do, it may not be really easy for them to tend to all of those customers. And, that will, over time, really affect your business. So that's why I like a little bit higher ticket products, so that you get less customers, but make the same amount, and you can really like hone in on each individual customer. But here's the thing, guys, don't test a higher ticket product if it's not good quality, because that's going to be even worse. Then your chargeback rate is going to be higher because you have less customers. So if you are going to test higher ticket products, you have to make sure that they're good products and that you're providing really good customer service, and ideally like faster shipping. So if a good way to get faster shipping is either to look for US suppliers or to have a sourcing agent. I provide my students with a sourcing agent, the one that I've used for a long time, because he ships really quick. But for the most part, if you're just beginning, you're probably not going to get a sourcing agent. So just keep that in mind. Most of mine are around 50 to 90 average order value. Dude, that is awesome. That's me right now. Like that's my average order value right now. It's about $65, which is amazing. This is like the best ever. Oh, how long did it take you to get over the learning curve of drop shipping? So honestly, my story is not very appealing. I think just because like I did fail for a long time. Like it took me a long time to really get the hang of it. I knew how to make a good store. Like every store that we made was really cool and it looked really good, but it took me so long to be able to learn Facebook ads. And it was mainly my fault. Like I don't want to say that you need guidance. Like you don't need a course. But at the time, there wasn't many videos on YouTube talking about like in-depth Facebook ads like there are now. Like now you have my channel, you have like Chris's channel, like Gabriel's channel, like Harry, like Beast of Ecom. There's so many good channels out there now that are providing just insanely good information that you really don't need a course nowadays to get good results. But most of these, I don't know, I like my course because it's like a community and the live streams and everything. Like we do a live stream like this every single week, and it's awesome. But I will say that you don't need it anymore. And at the time when I was just starting, there was nothing like that. It was basically every video out there that you could see was somebody pitching you their course like constantly, and it was just so annoying. So I ended up losing a lot of money right away because I've always been like the type to take action right away. But I was very careless. So I just started spending on ads right away and didn't get any results. And that really turned me off to like drop shipping, just because obviously it didn't work at all and I lost a lot of money. But then I revisited it in the future with a course. I ended up buying a course. It was like $500. And it was an okay course. It really taught me like the structure of Facebook ads, which I really needed. But besides that, it wasn't that good. It was kind of bad even. Like it didn't really provide me with much information besides that. So I didn't know how to scale. I didn't know how to do anything. So it took me a long time to really get the hang of it, unfortunately. It took me probably like a year and a half to become profitable. And then it took me like another year basically to understand Facebook ads enough to where we could scale really, really big. But it was all worth it. Luckily we started young. I mean, I'm still young right now, and most of you guys are probably pretty young too. So you don't have many responsibilities. So it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail for a while and not see success. It's all adding up to your big success. So that's how you have to look at it. Oh my God, no, I didn't even notice you're right here. Oh, sorry guys. But yeah, look at that cute cat. Yeah, that's my cat. She's the best. Her name is Nala, Nala. Would you drop out of high school? Good question. No, I wouldn't drop out of high school. Like college is different, but high school, it's free. And I don't know. I definitely think you should finish high school. What do I need to learn with the new CBO update for Facebook? No more $5 ad sets. Yeah, so right now you can still do $5 ad sets and whatever, but once September comes, we won't be able to do that anymore. Honestly, there's still ways to get around it. You can set up like budget limits or ad set limits so that they stop spending after $5 spent. That could be a good way to get around that. Honestly, that's probably a really good way to get around it. So honestly, I'm not too concerned. There's really nothing you need to know about CBO as far as testing goes. I haven't found that testing works the best with CBO, but I do have some students that are seeing crazy results with CBO tests. That hasn't been the case for me, unfortunately, yet. But I do have a solid CBO strategy that has been working consistently that I want to share with you guys. But a video on that will be coming soon. Should I buy a package from a designer for $1,000 that will build the store, import products, and set up dropshipping? I don't know. $1,000 sounds kind of steep. I don't think like $1,000 for a pre-built store is kind of a lot. I don't know. I don't think that's a great way to do it, just because I don't know. It's not hard to build a store. I think if you just buy a course that will show you how to build a store, I think that's more effective, because then you can build another store if you need to. Like if you buy a store, a pre-built store, let's say it doesn't work and you want to start a new store, now you're gonna have to buy another new store. Like that adds up really quickly. And you want to, at the end of the day, guys, you want to learn skills. You don't want to just do this to make money. You also want to learn skills that will make money, because that will make you more money. Trust me. So just make sure that you keep that in mind, guys. Like try to develop skills, like building a worthwhile site. I mean, look, you're about to buy a site for $1,000. Imagine if you learned how to make a site and you started selling a site for $1,000. You know what I'm saying? Like try to become the seller, not the buyer. Hopefully that makes sense. How much do you think the right profit margin should be before ad spend? Well, you have to take into consideration your ad spend in order, or I see what you mean. You mean like on a product. I think the ideal product margin is anywhere from $20 to $40. I think that's like a sweet spot. How long do you run your ad sets before killing/scaling? So I like to run them for at least 2 days, depending on certain metrics. If I'm seeing like cost per clicks above like $1.50, I usually cut those ad sets right away. Also, if I don't get any sort of add to carts by day 2, I also kill those ads. But usually 3 days if I'm doing $5 a day, and also depending on the margin, right? Inner Circle Gang, nice. Inner Circle Gang is the best. What can we do if an ad set has potential to reach 23 million? Run it, man. That's good. Bigger audiences do work well. I do still narrow everything down by engaged shoppers, and it still does work really well. So yeah, I think 23 million is fine though. Test that out. Let's see. How much time do you spend setting up a one product store? So I don't set up one product stores, but the only one product store I've really done is Trend Cove, but it really wasn't a one product store because I did test other products after, but I started with just one product and like an upsell. And it only took me like 2-3 hours to set up. And that's another reason why I'm telling you guys, like, don't buy a pre-built store unless it's like a good price, because you can easily build a store. Like, that's the thing. And once you know how to build a store, then you can start selling stores if you want, or you can just build your own stores, which is even better. Do I use Google Ads? I do use Google Ads slightly. I only use them for search campaigns for like my brand name. I haven't really tested much beyond that. Honestly, I don't know why. I really should test more with Google Ads. I just haven't I haven't been motivated enough to do it, because Facebook ads work well for me, and I also focus on Instagram. I think Instagram is great for building a, social presence, like a brand presence, I guess. I think it's great. That's why I love Instagram. I think every brand should have an Instagram, like a good Instagram. It's almost like a brand resume, It's like the resume for your store. I really want to do Bing ads, but never fully got around to it. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Honestly, Bing has like some of the highest income users for some reason. I think it's because like it's old people that just don't even notice that they're on Bing, and they're really wealthy and they just search. So yeah, dude, that could be definitely a worthwhile thing to test out. Let's see. Looking for some good questions. How many ad sets should I do per day? That's a good question. If you're an advanced person like you, I mean, it depends on how much you're making, right? Like if you're really profitable, then make a lot of ad sets. Like you can scale quicker at that point. And of course, the more ad sets you make, the more you're gonna make, because you're increasing your ad spend, right? And if you increase your ad spend, theoretically, you should see a higher revenue number the next day. That doesn't always work exactly like that, of course, obviously. But yeah, so let's just say you're doing like 500 profit in a day and you have like 20 ad sets on, make 10 more ad sets for the next day, or 20 more ad sets for the next day. It should double your revenue, right? Like that's technically how it should work. But like I said, it doesn't always work like that, but for the most part. Arie, how would I customize my debut theme? Any suggestions? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think there's that many things you need to customize on it. Just make sure that it looks clean. And yeah, that your sales funnel is intuitive, so that it's not like confusing. A lot of people have really confusing sites, and every time I review people's sites, like that's one thing that I notice, is that a lot of people have so much stuff going on that it's confusing. Like if I was a customer, I would leave right away because I don't even know what's going on the site. What do I think about starting on the baby niche? Any products that come to mind? I don't have any products that come to mind because I've never sold anything in the baby niche. But yeah, I mean, it's a good niche. I think it's a good niche. There's a lot of emotional appeal. There's a big market for it for sure. But I don't know, it's not my favorite niche, but it is a good niche. What to expect when I succeed in my first online store? Do I sell it? If I sell it, will I still have passive income? Well, no, if you sell it, that store's gone. It's not yours anymore. So I think once you get your first successful store, that's actually a really good question. But once you get your first successful store, I don't think you should sell it, man. I think you should just keep going on it, like keep developing it and building it into a bigger and bigger thing. That's something that I encourage you guys to do, is like not just get caught up in the drop shipping cycle where you build one store, you drop it, you build another store, you build another store. Like once you find one that really works, focus on it. Like focus on it full time. And, try to keep in mind, how can I please my customers more? Because that's how you're going to scale bigger and bigger. So how can I scale more? And then, once you scale to a certain figure where it is making you, a full-time income, then start trying to figure out how to take it to the next level, right? Like and usually how to take it to the next level nowadays involves how to, stock in the US, how to get stock in the US and ship really fast. Because the thing about shipping from the US too is that you can upsell fast shipping for a crazy amount of money. Like, it's actually insane. So keep that in mind, guys. Like, we just, for example, started testing some things in the US that we have stock for, and we upsell 2-day shipping for like almost $20, and people buy it. It's crazy. Like, people buy it. People are so impatient. So that really goes to show that having US shipping really will be a huge key by the end of the year. But I don't think you guys should worry too much about it, because at the end of the day, you guys are following me right now. You follow other, dropshipping guys on YouTube too that are reliable, and we'll keep you guys updated on whatever happens. And if shipping from the US becomes like a must in the future, then it's fine. Then it just means that more Chinese suppliers are just going to start getting their inventory to the US, and you'll be able to ship faster. So it's not something that you should be super concerned about. But, I do think that the sooner you can actually set something like that up, the better, because you'll have you'll just be ahead of the competition. And it's always a good thing to be ahead of the competition. You don't want to just, be with the competition. You always want to be ahead. And yeah, skills before money. I just read that comment, and I totally agree. When dealing with influencers, what all do you post on your IG page for a general store? So for a general store, in my opinion, what you should post is, your product pics. So make sure you find good product pics to post, and just funny, relatable content. I think that works well for general stores, because obviously it's like a general store. So I don't know, tech tips. There's also channels what's it called? Viral ideas, or I don't know, you know what I'm talking about, like life hacks, stuff like that. Those are all things that I would post on a general store if I had one. But yeah, can you explain us the tips and tricks to have good customer service? What do you do to make it really good? So that's a good question. Basically, as far as customer service goes, how you're going to really have good customer service is to just communicate with your customers quickly. So make sure that you're responding to emails as soon as possible. That you're not leaving people hanging, right? If you have to answer an email, make sure you answer it. Don't leave it for later. Make sure that you comment on your posts, on your ads, right? If on your ads you have people asking questions or wondering things, then make sure you answer them. Honestly, we answer every single comment on our ads, even if it's not even a question. Whatever it is, we answer it. And there's 2 reasons for that. First reason is because obviously that's good customer service, like we just covered. But the second reason is because it makes your ad do better with Facebook. Facebook likes it when you're getting more engagement, and you commenting counts as a comment. So the more comments, the better, the more Facebook will like your ad, et cetera, et cetera. Ooh. All right, guys, we got so many questions. I'm just trying to balance them all out. I do got to go sometime soon, so I do want to start talking about the giveaway a little bit. But let's see. Do I have an Amex card? Yes, I do. What content do you recommend for a company producing their own products? Well, it really depends on your brand, right? For example, if you're doing a health and beauty brand, of course, content would probably include girls, doing their makeup or just being really pretty, stuff like that with your products. But if you're doing an outdoor store, then it's probably going to involve people in the outdoors, in the woods, running, fishing, who knows? So just make sure that you keep it in line with your brand, keep it congruent with the overall feel of your store, and you should be good. But all right, guys, so I want to start talking about the giveaway real quick. So I'm going to be doing a giveaway on April 14th. That is going to be the day of the giveaway. I will be doing another live stream like this on that day. And what it's going to involve, it's basically, I want to give away 5 spots in the e-com inner circle, which is my program, as you guys know. So 5 spots, which is a lot. Usually I just do 1, but this time I just want to get more and more people in there, because I don't know, I've seen the difference it makes in students' lives, so I want to get more people in there. And of course, I'll also be doing a cash giveaway. I'm not sure exactly how much cash I'll be giving away, but I'll be giving away a significant amount, and I'll be dropping value just like this. I also want to like make a free resource to give out on that day, just so that everybody leaves with something, right? I don't want, people that lose to feel like they, missed out on something. And yeah, I'll be dropping a lot of value just like this, and it'll be really cool. And now, of course, I'll be giving away, like I said, 5 spots, a cash giveaway, and I think I might have like a special offer or something, but we'll see. It's gonna be awesome though. Like the value is gonna be top of the line, just like today. Hopefully you guys enjoy this live stream. Like I said, we do these live streams on the e-com Inner Circle every week, but I do want to start doing them more on YouTube as well, because you guys are my audience. Like I wouldn't have grown to this level if it wasn't for you guys. So I constantly want to show appreciation for that and how grateful I am. But yeah, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be on April 14th. I'm really excited about it, and I hope you guys are too. It's gonna be really cool. And yeah, let me see. I saw a cool question off topic, but what is your one tip to overcome fear of skateboarding, especially ollie to grind rails and stairs? Man, that's such a good question, because I get so scared when it comes to skateboarding sometimes, and it comes down to just realizing that like fear is just it's like a barrier, but it's not. It's like it's fake. It's all in your head really, because for example, like kick flipping a set of stairs, I couldn't kick flip like the stairs at my local skate park for so long, but it wasn't because I didn't know how to kick flip. It's because I was scared of the drop. But but once I did it, I realized that it was much easier than I thought. All it took was just to do a regular kick flip, but just to not worry about the drop and just land it. And I don't know, that helped me. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this. I really appreciate you guys joining me on this live stream. It was really fun. We had a lot of people on here. We dropped a lot of value. Like I said, I will be leaving this on my channel. So if if I answered some question that you want to review again, then just make sure you rewatch the video. Make sure to leave a comment, of course, if you can. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you soon. Peace out.